Somewhere right now there is a person sitting at a kitchen table running a business that generates more monthly profit than a company with 20 employees. They have no staff and no office and no payroll and no meetings. They have a laptop and a few well-chosen tools and a business model designed from the beginning to need as little of their time as possible. And the reason you have probably never heard this described clearly is that the entire conversation around building a business is dominated by a single assumption, that growth means hiring and that hiring means success. That assumption is wrong. And in 2026, it is more wrong than it has ever been. The most profitable businesses per hour of work are almost always solo businesses. Not startups with funding and not companies with departments. One person with a clear model and the right systems running quietly in the background. This video is the blueprint, not a motivational framework and not a vague collection of tips. A clear step-by-step look at exactly how a minimalist solo home business works, what it sells and how it operates and how it grows without a single employee and what the realistic numbers look like when it is built correctly. If you have ever wanted to build something for yourself but believed you needed a team or a big investment or years of experience before you could start, this video will show you why none of those things are the actual requirement. Stay with me because this is a different conversation from the ones most business channels are having. Let us start with the assumption that most people carry into business without ever examining it. The assumption is that a real business looks like a traditional business, a team of people working together toward a shared goal, and that building toward that model is what building a business means. This assumption shapes almost every decision a new business owner makes. It makes them hire too early because a real business has employees. It makes them rent office space too early because a real business has a premises. It makes them build complexity into their operation before the operation has even proven it can generate consistent revenue. And the result is a business that spends most of its early income on the infrastructure of looking like a business rather than on the activity of actually being one. Here is what that traditional model costs in practice. A single part-time employee in the UK in 2026 costs an employer somewhere between £15,000 and £22,000 per year when salary and national insurance and pension contributions and the management time required to oversee that person are all accounted for. That is a significant fixed overhead that the business must generate revenue to cover before a single pound of profit is possible. The minimalist solo business model starts from a completely different place. It asks one question before any other question. What is the minimum structure this business needs to deliver its product or service well and generate consistent profit? Not what does a business of this type usually look like? What does this specific business actually need? And the answer, for a very wide range of businesses that can be operated from home, is almost always far smaller and far simpler than the traditional model would suggest. The goal is not to build the smallest possible version of a traditional business. The goal is to build something different, a lean, profitable operation designed from the beginning for one person to run well. The most important decision in a solo home business is not how to market it and not how to automate it. It is what to sell. Because not every product or service is suitable for a one-person operation. The ones that are suitable share a specific characteristic. They have high profit margins and they do not require you to trade hours directly for money in a way that puts a hard ceiling on what you can earn. Let us look at the 4 models that work best for a minimalist solo business in 2026. The first model is a digital product. A digital product is something you create once and sell repeatedly without producing it again. This includes things like written guides and templates and courses and toolkits and design assets and audio products. You spend time creating it once and then it sells while you sleep, and the margin on each sale is close to 100% because there is no physical production cost and no delivery cost beyond the platform fee. The The second model is a service productist into a fixed offer. A traditional service business sells your time, and your time has a ceiling. A productist service repackages a skill you have into a fixed deliverable at a fixed price. Instead of charging by the hour for web design, you offer a fixed package, a complete 5-page website delivered in 10 days for a fixed fee. This makes the offer easy to buy and easy to deliver and easy to systematize. The third model is a subscription or retainer. Instead of selling one-off products or services, you sell ongoing access to something valuable on a monthly basis. This could be a newsletter with premium content or a monthly maintenance package for existing clients or a membership with regular resources. Recurring revenue is the most stable foundation for a solo business because it removes the pressure of starting from zero every month. The fourth model is content that generates passive advertising or affiliate income. A YouTube channel or a newsletter or a blog that attracts a consistent audience can generate ongoing income through ad revenue and through recommending products and tools that pay a commission when someone buys through your link. The common thread across all four models is that your income is not directly tied to the number of hours you work, and that decoupling between time and income is the foundation of every sustainable solo business. Now let us talk about the part of solo business building that most people overcomplicate before they understand it. Automation. When most people hear business automation in 2026, they think of complex AI systems and expensive software and technical knowledge they do not have. The reality of automation for a solo home business is far simpler than that. It means using tools that do repetitive tasks automatically so that you do not have to. Let us look at the specific areas where a solo business needs automation and what simple tools handle each one. The first area is customer inquiries and basic support. The majority of questions that customers ask before buying and after buying are the same questions asked repeatedly. A well-written FAQ page on your website handles most pre-sale questions. A simple email autoresponder handles the immediate response to new inquiries and sets expectations for when a personal reply will come. For businesses selling digital products, a help desk tool like Gorgias or even a well-organized Gmail setup with saved replies handles the majority of support without your constant presence. The second area is payment and delivery. For digital products, platforms like Gumroad or Payhip handle the entire transaction automatically. Payment processing and product delivery and receipt emails, without any action required from you after the initial setup. For service businesses, tools like Stripe with automated invoicing remove the administrative back and forth of chasing payments. The third area is scheduling and client communication. A simple booking tool like Calendly allows clients to book calls or appointments directly into your calendar without a single email exchanged. It sends confirmation emails and reminders automatically and integrates with your calendar to prevent double bookings. The fourth area is marketing and content distribution. A simple email marketing tool like MailChimp or ConvertKit allows you to write one email and send it to your entire audience automatically. Social media scheduling tools allow you to write a week of content in one sitting and have it publish automatically across the days ahead. None of these tools require technical expertise. All of them are either free to start or low cost. And together they replace the administrative work that in a traditional business would require at least one additional person. Let us now look specifically at artificial intelligence tools because they are genuinely changing what a solo business owner can do alone. And the honest picture is more useful than either the hype or the dismissal. AI tools in 2026 are not replacing businesses. They are acting as an on-demand assistant for specific tasks that used to require either significant time or hiring a specialist. Here is where AI tools create real value for a solo home business. The first area is writing. A solo business owner produces a significant amount of written content, emails and product descriptions and social media posts and website copy and proposals and newsletters. AI writing tools do not replace your voice or your ideas, but they dramatically reduce the time it takes to move from a rough idea to a polished draft. A first draft that used to take 2 hours can now take 20 minutes. The second area is research. Understanding your market and your competitors and what your audience is looking for used to require significant time spent reading and gathering information. AI tools can summarize and analyze and surface relevant information in a fraction of that time. The third area is creating and repurposing content. A single piece of content, a long video or a detailed article, can be repurposed into multiple shorter formats using AI tools that understand what the original content is about and can reframe it appropriately. 1 hour of recorded content becomes a written article and a series of short clips and a set of social posts and a newsletter edition, all with AI assistance that would have taken a full day of manual work before. The fourth area is building basic automations. Tools like Zapier and Make allow software platforms to talk to each other and pass information between them automatically. In 2026, these tools have AI-assisted setup that allows someone with no coding knowledge to build workflow automations by describing in plain English what they want to happen. The honest framing for AI in a solo business is this: it is the closest thing to a free part-time assistant that has ever existed. It does not replace your judgment or your relationships or the core skill that makes your business valuable. It removes the surrounding administrative and creative production work that used to consume the majority of a solo operator's time. Here is something that almost every solo business guide leaves out, and it is one of the most important things to understand if you want to operate well alone. Your focus is your most valuable business asset. Not your product and not your automation and not your marketing. Your ability to think clearly and work on the things that actually move your business forward without being constantly pulled in other directions. A traditional business distributes the cognitive load of running the operation across multiple people. A solo business places all of that cognitive load on one person. And if that person does not actively protect their focus, the business quickly becomes a source of constant low-level stress rather than the freedom it was designed to create. The low-noise operating principle is a set of simple decisions that protect your focus as a solo operator. The first decision is to set specific communication windows rather than responding to messages as they arrive. Checking email twice a day at fixed times rather than continuously removes dozens of small interruptions that individually feel minor but collectively consume hours of focused working time every week. The second decision is to protect a block of time every working day that is reserved entirely for the work that requires your clearest thinking. This is different from the administrative work of running the business. It is the creative or strategic work that only you can do and that directly produces the value your business sells. For most solo operators, 2 to 3 hours of genuinely protected focus time every day is enough to move a business forward significantly. The third decision is to be deliberate about which new opportunities and platforms and tools you engage with. A solo business has a finite amount of bandwidth. Every new platform you add and every new tool you trial and every new strategy you experiment with consumes some of that bandwidth. The minimalist operating principle here is the same one that applies to everything else. Does adding this create more value than the complexity it introduces? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. And knowing that clearly before you add something is how a solo operator stays lean and focused rather than busy and scattered. Let us now talk about how to measure whether your solo business is actually working, because the metrics that most business content celebrates are almost entirely the wrong ones for a minimalist solo operation. Revenue is not the right primary metric. A business that generates £10,000 a month in revenue and spends £9,000 running itself is not a success. It is a very busy way of earning £1,000 a month. The metric that matters is net profit per hour of your time. How much money does your business actually keep after all costs, and how many hours of your time did generating that money require? A business generating £3,000 a month in net profit from 15 hours of work per week is a significantly better outcome than a business generating £8,000 a month in revenue from 50 hours of work per week. The second metric that matters is what you might call freedom quality. Does your business require your presence at specific times that you did not choose? Does it generate stress that follows you outside working hours? Or does it operate within boundaries that you set and respect those boundaries without requiring your constant attention? A solo business that does not protect your freedom is not a minimalist business. It is a job you created for yourself with no employer to blame for the hours. The third metric is trend, not absolute number. Is your net profit growing over time, even slowly? Is the number of hours required to run the business staying the same or decreasing as your systems improve? A business that earns a modest amount now but requires less of your time each quarter as the systems mature is building toward genuine freedom. A business that earns more each month but requires more of your time each month to sustain it is building toward a ceiling, and eventually toward burnout. So here is the full picture of what a minimalist solo home business actually is. It is not a small version of a traditional business. It is a different kind of business entirely, one designed from the beginning around a single operator with no payroll and no unnecessary overhead and no complexity that does not directly serve the goal of generating profit and protecting freedom. It sells something with a high margin, a digital product or a productive service or a subscription or content that generates passive income. It uses simple and low-cost tools to automate the repetitive tasks that would otherwise consume the majority of its operators' time. It uses AI assistance for the production and administrative work that used to require specialist help or significant hours. It protects the focus of its one operator as a primary business priority rather than an afterthought. And it measures success by net profit and freedom quality rather than revenue and headcount. The most important thing to understand about this model is that it does not require you to be ready. It requires you to be honest. Honest about what skill or knowledge you have that other people would pay for. Honest about what the simplest version of a business built around that skill looks like. And honest about building that simple version first before adding any complexity. The complexity can come later if it is ever actually needed. Most of the time it is not. This week, write down one thing you know or can do that other people would pay to have access to. Just one thing. Then ask what the simplest version of a business built around that one thing looks like. That is where every minimalist solo business starts. Share this with someone who has been thinking about starting something for themselves but has been waiting until they feel ready, because this is the video that shows them they already are. I will see you in the next one.